That is a good song.
Hey guys, this episode is inspired by your comments on a previous Middle Ground.
Make sure you stick around to the end because we want to tell you about how you can be even more involved.
Enjoy the episode.
Because people are anti-sex. That's why we're having the...
No, I am pro-sex.
Me too.
I am not ashamed.
Because if you're pro-sex, you're pro-pornography.
All right, we ban this guy for a day.
That's by your definition.
Well, that's exactly right. That's why we're going to agree to disagree. Hi, I'm Buck, and I'm a human rights activist and pro-porn.
Hi, I'm
I
Alex.
haven't seen the video. I don't give a fuck if another streamer saw the video. Suck my fucking small dick. Okay, relax.
Gail, and I'm an aspiring physician, and I'm pro-porn.
Hi, I'm Riley. I'm an adult performer, and I'm pro-porn.
Hi, my name is JK. I am a porn addiction recovery coach, and I'm passionate about helping men who struggle with compulsive sexual behaviors.
Hi, my name is Maria. I run a youth organization and
Yeah, I wanna hear
educate
this
on
argument.
issue.
My name's
Should we
Nicole.
watch porn?
I'm 21 years old. I'm headed to law school next year. I have been a first-hand witness of the devastating effects porn can have.
On the left and my pro-porn people on the right, please.
Who hasn't watched the video?
I have watched porn.
I've watched porn in the past, and I think I've watched more than my fair share of it, to the point that it changed my life. Right now I don't, because I'm at a point where it's been a decade. I won't be going back to it.
I watch porn. I also produce porn. What a great medium to use to help to explain to people different kinds of bodies, different kinds of sexualities, different ways that people fantasize about things in a healthy manner.
I started off watching porn as young as 12 out of curiosity, and eventually it led
Porn's
into
fucking great.
my sexual exploration and loving my body. So I
It's like
watch
food.
porn on a daily basis to, satisfy myself.
Hey guys. I don't watch porn. It's not like I don't think about sex or anything like that, but that's just something I've only seen cause destruction in the relationships that I've been close to, and I've purposely stayed away from it.
Don't you think they already had a problem before the pornography?
Sure, yeah.
So do you think the pornography just pushed it forward and made the situation worse?
I don't think it's the cause. I think it's a symptom of the cause. It certainly pushed forward into issues of deceit, of mistrust, and broken relationships that certainly weren't helped by an exposure to pornography.
But what if you saw a healthy relationship around pornography? Would that change your mind?
I think amazing relationship is subjective.
Of course.
I think
Of
you could
course.
also direct that to me.
Yeah.
The thing is, professionally, I have just never seen it. We do have cases where they thought they were open to it, and one of them just got addicted to it.
What is addiction?
Addiction is when it starts interfering with other aspects of your life, when it interferes with your career, when it interferes with your finances, when it interferes with your erection. I couldn't masturbate for years unless I was viewing pornography.
Do you think shame has something to do with the reason why people feel that they get addicted? I get shamed all the time for my career. But
Or you're
what
just
I
not having
believe
good
is
sex, or you're like,
that people have created this idea that pornography is negative, pornography is bad. People use these to blame
What's
or
wrong with it?
springboards to say, well, he used alcohol and he watched pornography, so that must be the reason.
If that wasn't there, if porn wasn't there, the relationship could be saved. High-speed internet pornography, in my opinion, escalates the decline of any relationship.
Porn has directly affected my sex life.
yeah.
I developed a sense of entitlement towards certain sexual acts. I expected that a woman in a relationship with me should be willing to give blowjobs or should want to have anal sex. And these things came before what she actually enjoyed. It caused the women a lot of pain. It caused them to look at their bodies and go like, well, he likes me for everything else, but like he's totally not into it, or he's not with me when we're having sex because he's somewhere else imagining that. All of that, when I measured it and I look back, it just came back to porn. I got to a point where I could not have sex or maintain an erection
Just find a girl who likes porn too. What?
unless I was imagining a scene from some porn that I watched 3 months ago. And sadly, I'm not the only one. It took so long. In fact, for me, it took 18 months. And this involved a lot of work to know that it takes 18 months of journaling before I could have a regular sex life again.
Do you think that there's a way?
No, seriously, my personal experience, I could be wrong because maybe I just had, I don't know, but like with porn, it's never been an issue. Just watch, you know, like once in a while you watch porn together. It's fun, you know? Like, it's like a normal thing. It's like, if a girl... I just can't imagine in a position where the girl be like, you're not allowed to think of other things. That'd be scary, right? You control it. Yeah, this session I want to think of you this whole time. You know? Oh, you want to do it, but this time we watch porn together? Fuck yeah, let's do that. And, you know, it's just like we're both watching the porn while, you know, it's just like sex isn't one thing like all the time. You mix it up all the time. It's just like, this is just so weird to me. Why is this like this?
Way that we as pornography creators could create content that would help them.
It's noble. I wish that years ago I tried to believe that, but once I realized how big the porn industry machine is, I just realized that that is not going to be the solution. I'm yet to meet a client who told me like, yeah, JK, I downgraded my porn to missionary. I started watching vanilla stuff. No, because it no longer starts with the vanilla stuff, and you all know that.
I will 100% agree with you. There is bad pornography. I will 100%. But that said, that doesn't make all of it the case
Look at that camel behind me, though, scratching his neck. Turn up.
It's causing people to have erectile dysfunction. Now, me, I'm a transgender man. So I was born a woman and I became a man.
Really? Whoa, that's fucking pog. Oh my god.
Thank you very much for the donate. Thank you very much for the donation.
Wow.
Hey Poke, just finished my graduation project from high school.
Great.
Hats out to the other seniors. Less than 3.
It's amazing.
I kept my vagina. I kept my vagina for a reason, but that said, I use it within my pornography, and I use that specifically to teach the world about sexual experiences with a man like myself. And it is sex educational on some level. It's also body educational.
But the question...
Dude, he's such a, like, high-value person, dude. Like, beautiful man with a pussy. Pog, dude. Dude, he 100% like fucking is a killer in porn, dude. Think about that. Holy shit.
That I have for all of you.
I mean, I don't want to watch it personally, but that's cool, man. That's fucking great.
Who can one moment are playing Fortnite or Minecraft, and the next.
Okay, yo, excuse me. What are we talking about?
Educational.
But the question that I have for all of you would be, what are we doing about the 11-year-olds who can one moment are playing Fortnite or Minecraft, and the next they are watching someone of your gender, which they have no understanding of what it is, and using that to determine what their sexual identity is going to be? What are the ethics of it? Is it at all costs I must educate people?
When I was 8, I never got to see anything like that. So guess what I did when I was 8? I cut my arms, I tried to commit suicide, I hated myself because I was a man with a vagina at 8 years old. That was horrifying for me. Now, if I was 8-year-old and I got to pick up my phone and I got to see me, I would be like, actually, wow, I can actually be this man. But I never got that opportunity at 8 years old. Now, I agree with you. Pornography for an 8-year-old is probably not the best thing in the world. But let's talk about the parents. If I had an 8-year-old, I would never let that 8-year-old
So the argument here, if I am correct, let's say you're 8 years old and you've never seen porn before, right? Let's say you're 8 years old, you've never seen porn, and you don't know anything about it, and your first video that you see is, let's say, this video, this guy's video with the man with the pussy. What is he saying? The argument if the kid sees that video, it's going to make the kid change and want that, right? Not traumatize. It's gonna like make him be like that. Is that what they're trying to say? You won't find that first? No, I think that's what the argument is. Like, yeah, right. Me, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I think as a kid, if you see something you don't like, I probably have to think about this a lot before I even say anything. I don't know.
Phone or be on the internet.
So interesting. I wanted to run over here. So interesting. I actually remember this story. In like the middle of the talk, a mom, she stood up basically and raised her hand and grabbed the mic. Her son, who was 8 years old, he had Googled sex, so he was curious. He wanted to know, like any other kid. But what he found then was porn. And I would argue that the mainstream pornography does not actually show sex, if you know what I mean. He was not so upset about like what he had seen. He was more upset about the thing that he had seen. He thought, this is what my parents do to each other in bed.
But why is he fearful? That's the thing that I want to understand, why kids are fearful of sexual interaction. I noticed in Sweden and Norway and that particular part of the world, much more open about
fuck wrong with y'all?
bodies. What I thought to myself was, well, what if children on some level were taught about sex as a positive thing, as a beautiful thing, as not a...
Absolutely. But that's kind of I think perhaps you're missing the point of the story, because he was looking for sex.
Yeah.
You know?
He was, yes.
He was.
But what he saw was not nice.
Not what exactly. But I would assume and I would guess that it was quite aggressive.
I think I wanted to add on to something you were saying. You have to have some level of maturity to watch it. I remember coming across a video where a girl was masturbating with a Sharpie marker. And I thought, oh, look, she's having fun. Let me grab a Sharpie marker. Let me try this. Made absolutely no sense. I remember doing it, and I remember thinking, what is this? Like, this makes no sense. So me doing my research, I realized certain masturbation techniques. And then I realized, oh, pornography isn't real. Like, this is just a show. And unfortunately, not everybody has that realization. And I'm not saying that's the cause of the addiction or whatever, but there should be some level of understanding.
She went on 4chan.
Yeah, so I said no to the prompt because I currently do not have a sex life. But
if you're a kid, you went on 4chan, you see a Sharpie pussy all the
with
time.
somebody who was addicted to pornography and absolutely experienced hurt within that. I'm not.
If this is a double, if this post has quads, I'm gonna put a Sharpie in my butt. Oh my god, OP delivered! Did you see that crazy thread? Oh my god.
The fact that was something he struggled with, and that, similar to you, it sounds like, had expectations of me that I couldn't fulfill, and that I didn't even know where they were coming from until a year into the relationship. So yeah, I think pornography can affect intimacy without affecting particularly a sex life.
The stigma around porn is too negative.
What I see when I meet kids and youth, especially like in classrooms, is that the stigma and the kind of shame and the guilt is exactly what is kind of hindering the conversation. I'm all about like lifting that off of their shoulders to have, the conversation be open and honest. That's why I think it's so important that this is happening, that we're talking about this.
I believe the stigma should be negative. I think pornography is sinful. The reason I did come over and said it's too negative is because, especially in the church, there's the stigma of shame that comes after asking for forgiveness. I just think that there should be an easier way to move on and grow out of that experience.
So we've talked a lot about the way that stigma and consumption affects the consumer, but we haven't really talked much at all while we've been sitting here about labor and the people
Chastity Belt Chandler
who make porn. And from my point of view, I see firsthand so much the way that stigma against porn affects the lives and the safety of porn performers. It is near impossible to get a decent OBGYN. It is hard to find a mental health care professional who will not pathologize you for your choice of occupation. It leads to a well-known phenomenon, people losing their families just by virtue of what they do for a living. It's the palpable discrimination that sex workers of all kinds face because of this kind of negative stigma.
Dude, she just literally dropped some bombs there, right? Like, it is true. Everything she said there is true. Like, imagine there's just some girl who just likes doing porn and just the world's against you.
No, this was a good one to watch from the outside. This is the first moment standing there that I was able to see, like, okay, wow, because I could feel it this time instead of just listening. I feel the human part, and that's why I say that the stigma hurts. That's what I see. The stigma hurts, but the stigma needs to be there because sometimes it's the only way I can get my point across.
Right, so I think what you're saying is that to help the demographic that you need to help, it needs to have that stigma. But stigma in any way, shape, or form is not good for anybody. Once stigma is there, it's just gonna create a negative space. I agree with it. You don't ever have to accept what I do. Only thing I ask for is respect. And respect means no stigma.
While I would maybe not give you exactly what you want as respect for your profession, I absolutely respect you as a person. And I think that your opinions, while totally wrong, are, you have the right to have that opinion.
Our society needs better sex education.
Don't just teach them how sex works.
Sorry, this guy. Someone said the guy looks like unboxed therapy, and it just. Dude, I don't know. This fucking got me, dude. I don't know.
So this is a bit of a different.
Biologically, teach the children about consent and autonomy over their bodies and communication with their partners and how to do that in a healthy way.
Emotional intelligence is one of the things that is lacking among men who watch a lot of pornography. Society, the way we were raised, Disney, and then Pornhub, and then
you know what's the downside of porn? You want to know the actual downside of porn? Nothing. You gotta just don't fap too hard.
Thank you very much for the donation.
That's my advice for everybody.
Thank you very much for the donation.
If you're a single man and you love to jerk off,
the only way that I can come is by getting mod in a female's channel people sad.
Oof. Don't fap too hard. You will train your dick to come. I'm not saying I had issues with it, but like I noticed like it was like almost an issue. Not like almost an issue, but I'm Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Like thank God. But I just noticed like wow, fapping really hard. Like I could fap really hard. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to like fap like in 2 minutes, I can do it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can, right? Because you've trained yourself. But what I'm saying is, when you get a girlfriend and stuff, and you have sex and stuff, it will make it. It'll make it just a little bit tougher for you, because you jerked off way too hard. Trust me, I think this is true. I'm not saying it made it worse or anything. It was Gucci, but it's just like a new learning curve, you know. You gotta learn to train, you know. But yeah, that's just my personal advice. Just calm down.
Get this messed up emotional intelligence thing. You know, it all conflicts.
That dang patriarchy again.
You have to understand, man, it's true, because I was born as a woman. I was not born as a man. It's dominance, taking, that's what we see as masculinity, and I totally disagree with that.
Dude, can you show me a proper way to jerk off? The thing is, I don't know if maybe I did things that made it harder, like different than jerking off. I used a fucking fleshlight, dude. I used this the fucking, what's the popular Tango one? And it was so good, dude. I remember back in the day, it was like a, you put it on. It wasn't the little Tenga eggs; those are weak shit. But it was like the little, not the machine. It was like you put it and you put it on your dick, the cup, right? Gravity cup, whatever thing, and you squeeze the cup, and the suction is like, You know what I'm saying? It's just like really good, and yeah, I have it. Can I show you? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, I think I think using stuff like that to jerk off and stuff isn't worth it. Like, it's really good at the time, but don't train yourself to like use that stuff. You know what I mean? I think so. I don't know.
It's very toxic.
Unless you plan on being single forever. Squad W.
And so we do need to talk about that. But for myself and my particular porn and my desire to create education around it was specifically targeted to people like myself. It's because I didn't have sex till I was in my 30s. Because I was too freaked out about my body and too freaked out about how people would feel about me. And so I was not comfortable sexually. So I knew once I became sexually comfortable, thank God, for that, because that gave me a space to be the man I am today.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think we basically all agree that at the end of the day, we recognize sex as something that should be beautiful, that should be a form of expression, just who you're expressing it to and when you express it, we all kind of disagree on.
I think all of these views were necessary to create something nuanced, and
I'm glad she took time out of her church to come here.
And I hope that it improves the mental landscapes of the folks who consume what we produce.
All right, right on.
Big again. Yes,
Yes.
It's totally insane.
Daz, change that. Yo, thank you, Happy Fry. If I missed your sub, dude, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Put on your dick.
What?
You got debated. You got your.
Let's go!
No. Alright, we should try this terrible game.